Custom lightsaber collecting and buying can be a hobby about waiting. So if you've gotten into this hobby, I'm sure you're aware of this. Certain companies have a reputation for taking a lot longer to ship. And sometimes that's for, good reason. Sometimes it's for arguably not a good reason, but, that's up to you, your interpretation of that. But there are many very good sabersmiths, very good saber companies out there that have long lead times, and that's because they have a high quality product. And so it's not that uncommon to have to wait months on end to receive a lightsaber. Now, there are some things you should know when you have these longer lead times, or the possibility of these longer lead times. First, you need to know how you've paid. So like if you've paid by PayPal, for example, that's great because you have some different buyer protections in place, so it's maybe more likely you'd be able to get your money back than if you pay other ways. But, even if you pay with PayPal, you have a 180-day window to open a case in the resolution window. Otherwise, you could be out of luck. If it's day 181 and it's like, oh, I still haven't received my product, or I haven't heard from the seller in a while, then you might be out of your money. That's the reality of it. So another thing you want to look at with these kind of long time horizons is the seller reputation. So is this an established seller? Now, if you have some established sabersmiths and lightsaber companies, it's maybe more likely, that you'll end up getting your lightsaber eventually. At the same time, there have been some pretty, controversial cases of otherwise high-profile sabersmiths that have just disappeared. They've just ghosted. And what probably happened in many of these cases is the individual or the company, they kind of became overwhelmed with some kind of life event, and they took on too many projects. So some combination of those two factors just ended up with them feeling like way overwhelmed, and then they just disappear from the saber scene. Now, Jordan Mole is probably the most famous example of that, one of the most famous examples of that. There are a lot of people that are still owed, their lightsaber projects, and they're owed a refund of money, but he's just kind of disappeared. So it's unfortunate. Now, that is a risk you take with these kind of long horizon projects. So just keep that in mind. And it also is just hard waiting that long, right? I mean, waiting for months on end, waiting for 3 months, 6 months, a year or more for a lightsaber, that can be pretty hard. But that is the name of the game with some of these projects, with some of these very popular, in demand, kind of high quality sabersmiths. It takes that long. This can be an artistic endeavor, and especially if it's a highly customized project and they're working with you kind of, one-on-one to, work out your vision and try to bring that to life. It is quite a process. So sometimes the time horizons are worth it. Just understand that there are some extra risks built into, working with a sabersmith with longer time horizons like that. And there is even the possibility you'll lose your money and you'll lose, whatever lightsaber you may have sent in to them. Because, in some cases, people will send a saber in to be installed and customized, and they're out of the lightsaber and out of the money they paid. So I don't mean to scare you guys. It definitely can still be worthwhile, for, to get a real cool project done, but there are definitely more risks in these type of things as well. So feel free to comment below. What do you guys think about kind of, these long time horizons on some lightsaber projects? Have you had good experiences, bad experiences, in between experiences? Of course, the best thing you can do, if you're on these one of these longer term projects, is when in doubt, reach out to the seller, try to contact them, for a status update on your project. Do that every now and then. And as long as they're in communication with you, that's probably a pretty good sign. Because I know it seems like when it's one of these sabersmiths that's been overwhelmed, they end up cutting off communication with everybody eventually. So anyway, please comment below on this topic if you'd like.